Hey, good morning, Internet fans. It's Ryan Perry with Simple Biz Support. Today is Wednesday, therefore, it is Social Media Wednesday. And after 2 weeks of Sarah's partner Ken doing the broadcast, Sarah has actually been kind enough to show her face again while she's in Hawaii. Good morning, or I guess it's really early morning for you, isn't it, Sarah?
It is. We're about 2 hours ahead now after the time change, so it's about 7:45 from here.
All right. Well, I'm glad to see you're up bright and early. You've got a couple days left in Hawaii. You've been there for a couple of weeks, and you're ready to come back, though, right?
No. Not, no. I mean, it's paradise here, and I could still work, so I would be totally okay with a couple more weeks here.
All right. Well, that's one of the pros and cons to our business is that we can work remotely. So if you ever want to move there, I'd be more than happy to visit you. The downside of being able to work remotely is that when you're on vacation, you end up working remotely.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 when, yeah, owning the business that you still have to work when you go on vacation. However, I do have the long-term goals of having enough of a team that I could go away for a week or two and maybe work less,
Okay,
but
there you go.
then
I like
still,
that.
working in Hawaii still isn't that bad.
Well, we're just going to keep on growing our businesses then by helping other people be successful, marketing their business online. I just want to let you know Ken did a great job filling in for you. For those of the audience that don't know, Ken is Sarah's business partner with ICT Marketing. But we should actually spend maybe a little bit of time actually talking about social media and trying to help people improve their visibility online. And what you wanted to talk about today was focusing on the little things. As a business owner, if you're managing your own social media account, what are the little things that you can do that you should be paying attention to, essentially, in order to help ensure your success, return on investment, time investment, money investment, if you're doing advertising, to make sure you're getting as much value out of social media, or specifically Facebook, I should say, as far as today's broadcast.
Right. Today we're going to show a little bit of the quick ways to pay attention to what you're doing on Facebook, but this really covers all of the social media channels. You want to make sure that you are paying attention to what you're doing and the results that are occurring, because it tells you how that type of content is being received by your followers. It also tells you what your organic reach is, and especially on Facebook where they're really throttling that. If you see you're suddenly getting a high organic reach, it's a sign for you to maybe throw a few dollars in boosting it. So, but if you're not paying attention, you could miss that opportunity. And you don't need to dig into the insights, really dig into the deep ones every single day. However, you probably want to you should be posting every day if you can, but you want to take a look and see how they're performing and just kind of you've got to pay attention. You can't just throw the content up there and walk away and then a couple days later throw something up again and have no idea how it performed, because then you might just get in the rut of continually putting up content that is totally irrelevant to your followers and getting no traction whatsoever.
Right. And I think one of the biggest problems that business owners make, and I know I was one of those people early on, and I still do it just because I'm selfish that way sometimes, is that as business owners, we're so focused and concerned about our business that we just assume everybody else is as interested in our business. So we end up talking about things that we want to talk about, things that we think are important. And a lot of times they are important, but if people don't understand why they're important, then it's really not important to them. And so I think it's really valuable that when you're going through your news feed, and Sarah's going to show this to us here in a second, when you're going through your news feed is kind of looking at the subject matter. Are you always talking about the same thing? And if you are you getting a lot of interaction, likes, responses? If you're not, then you need to kind of reevaluate what you're talking about. And like you were saying, Sarah, is it really a value to the people watching and listening to you versus what you think is valuable?
Right. We tell clients all the time, and it's sometimes hard for them to hear when it's their business and their baby, that It doesn't matter at all what you want to put on social media because you're not the target market. You own the company. What we put on social media 100% matters what the followers want to see. So why do we post a lot of funny things? Because funny gets interaction, and it shows the personality of the business. It shows the fun side of the business, which you want people to see in multiple ways, not just the services you offer, but the culture of your business. Who are your people? Who are, if I'm going to hire ABC company, who are the employees that are going to help me and service me? And so you really want to pay attention to showing the personality of the company, and putting out content that the people are going to interact with, regardless of what you think. So if you think a funny, Happy Friday post shouldn't be put out there, but you get 15 likes on it, clearly it was effective because it's just a light, fun, hearty way to do it. We always tell people that we used to say an 80-20 rule. 20% about your services, 80% about everything else, and we've shifted it a little bit to 70-20-10, whereas that 10%, you get that 10% human factor, talking about your employees, about yourself, the culture of your business, showing your sense of humor, then 20% about your services, and 70% about everything else. Education surrounding your services, not selling your services. So you do very little selling on social media.
Right. Yeah, and I think, the other thing that people can do, and we don't always think about it, is that, if we take an industry I'm very familiar with, which is dentistry. Dentistry is pretty dry and boring. Nobody really cares about teeth whitening unless I'm like, oh, I would like, I'm thinking about getting my teeth cleaned or teeth whitened, excuse me, but we're not interested in dentures and crowns and caps and fillings and cleanings and all that type of stuff. So if that's all they ever posted about, it would be a very dull news feed for the average Joe on the other side of the table. However, the dentist would probably find it very interesting because it's what they do every day. So one of the things that we recommend, especially I've got a lot of clients in Sonoma County. Sonoma County is a little bit tighter. We have a go local community. We want to support local activities. So not just talking about dentistry as an example, but what can you do locally in the community? So as it relates to maybe oral health, so it may be talking about farmers markets, fresh fruit, how different foods can affect your oral health and those type of things, but put a local spin on it, can add a lot more interaction, because now it's something that as a local person in Sonoma County, it's like, oh, I may be interested in that. It has more value to me as an end user than it necessarily does for the dentist. But you talk kind of like the branding proposition, what does your company stand for? What are your values? So I'm throwing my 2 cents in there.
But it's totally correct. Talking about the activities going on in the community shows that you are part of your community, wherever your community is. And a lot of businesses are small, and we focus on small local businesses that are local to their community. Like I may have clients outside of Sonoma County, but I still deal with their local community. What activities are going on? The New York Marathon ran by one of our clients. The Path ran right by one of our clients. So of course we're talking about the marathon on their Facebook page because it's relevant. And so those are things you want to think about outside the box, not just talking about your business or your industry, but talk about your community, your people, what's going on. Obviously, we just all had elections. If there's something that was really near and dear to your heart that wasn't too polarizing, that's something you could talk about. If it was a community, you have to be careful with that. You don't want to do the too polarizing, but if it was a community measure that maybe impacted your community and you really felt strongly one way or the other, that might be something you might want to put out there, or you can put it out there as a neutral. Hey, here are all the things on the ballot this year. Do your research. That way you're not picking a side, but you're still being part of the community, being active.
Right.
So you want to think outside the box.
Yeah, and I think at that point you're also taking it to another level where you're aligning yourself with a certain person. And if you're in a business where you want to do business with a certain type of people, then maybe aligning yourself with, the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or the NRA or animal care, hospice, all those type of things, that would be great. The woodpeckers have arrived. I apologize, they're replacing a window this morning, and I thought I was going to get away with it, but apparently not. Let's do a screen share. So why don't you actually show people what they can do to look at their website and kind of make some of those decisions.
All right, let's see if I can. There we go.
And I'm going to mute my microphone here for a bit so we don't hear the woodpeckers. But
Give
it will
me
be nice.
1 second. I'm used to. There we go. Okay. Now I can find it. Aha. All right. So here you're going to see. This is one of our. It's a fairly newer page. Their fans are not quite used to interacting yet because the page only existed for about 2 or 3 months now. I think we're on 3 months. And so you'll see we do a lot more boosted posts on this particular page to try and to get the fans interacting with the page. But a really quick way to see how this, so here's a particular post right here. And you can just click on the number of people reached, and you really quickly, well, it quickly pops up the stats of the post, see how it interacted. And what you really want to look at is, because it's not, you'll see the 9 likes, comments, and shares that are right here. You'll see that on the main page. But you really want to look at are these post clicks also. Because you'll see in addition to these 9, you've got 3 link clicks. So 3 people clicked the link and went all the way to the video in YouTube. Then you've got this other click, which means they did something else. They might have clicked on the title. They might have clicked on the page title. They might have clicked to see more if the content was a little bit longer. They might have looked down at the bottom to see who liked the page. And so it's showing you that they might not have actually liked, commented, or shared on the post, but these are people who did something in the post. So you're seeing, it'll show you a bigger engagement than the 9 likes, comments, and shares that you've got up here. And this is a really easy way because all we did is we just clicked on the number of people reached and it pops up. You can do the exact same thing on mobile.
So what you're recommending then is that if you go onto your business page and you actually go through the news feed, assuming you have some history in there, you can start looking at, okay, this post, no response, no reaction, no clicks, no nothing. Next post, no response, no reaction. This post had 1. Oh, this one's got 10. Therefore, there must be something about that post that people found important.
Right, and it might not just be the content. You also need to pay attention to the day of the week you post and the time of day. If you go into your full-blown insights in Facebook and go into posts, you can see it'll give you a graph for the 24 hours in a day, and it'll show you how a lot of them will show later in the day or early in the morning. It'll show you where the majority of your people that are following your page are online. And so it may show, you might be posting it at 7 a.m. where 100 people are online. Let's see, oh, my finger, I'm used to bigger screens. You might show at 7 a.m. 100 people online, but then at 6 p.m. you've got 1,000 people online, but you're posting at 7 a.m. Well, it's gone and out of people's news feed for the most part by 7 p.m. So those are things to look at also when you dig further into your insights. Is if there are 3 contents that are similar types of posts, and 2 of them have 0 interaction and the third one does, that's a sign to dig a little deeper. Was it time of day or was it the content?
Right.
But paying attention is key.
Yeah, and I would say not even, yes, pay attention, dig a little deeper, but the third part is going to be do another test. And so if you feel that, geez, you know what, maybe if I post at 6 a.m. versus 7 a.m., then, tomorrow post something at 6 a.m. And if you're not awake at 6 a.m. like me, because I love to sleep in, do a future post. Plug the post in now, set the time and date for tomorrow at 6 a.m., and then give it a little bit of time and see what those analytics come back and tell you.
Exactly. We use scheduling in Facebook all the time because we've got to manage different time zones, different times of day, and you're not expected to be on Facebook 24/7. I mean, Facebook would love it if you are, but it's in reality you're not. I'm not even on it 24/7. and I'm on it a lot.
That's it. That's it. We can't talk to you anymore. You're not on 24/7. That's
I'm
just wrong.
connected 24/7, so I get all the notifications 24/7, but I'm not looking at it 24/7, and so and it's too much work to manage being on there and posting all the time. So we sit down, we bulk post them, schedule them out. That way, we ensure that we're done on a regular basis, and so take advantage of that.
All right, perfect. Well, tell you what, it is 10 a.m. I'm sure there's a beach or a Mai Tai or a dolphin or something out there that's calling your name. So
I think so. You know, that the view that I unfortunately have blocked behind me because of the sunlight. I think that ocean's calling me.
All right, beautiful. Well, Sarah, I appreciate your time as always, and I look forward to hearing more about your adventures when you get back in the town.
Thank you, Ryan. It was great seeing you too.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.